Hello and welcome to Mount Panorama Bathurst, where today we shall be doing a 55-minute race to celebrate and recreate the Bathurst 12 hours that will be happening this weekend in a very similar style to the Daytona 1.2 hours video for the Daytona 24 hours that I did last week. It was a very well received video. You guys thoroughly enjoyed that one, so thank you very much for the support on that. I'm very glad that you did enjoy it as much as you guys did, as it made producing that video just that little bit more worth it, even though I had an absolute blast recording and producing it anyway, as you could probably tell. But yeah, because of that success with that video, I thought it'd be a great idea to do one for the Bathurst 12 hours this weekend as well. So again, we're replicating the car classes and the conditions that the real world drivers will be racing in. So the top class in this race will be the GT3 cars, which I am participating in. Starting from the back of the GT3 class though, in 17th position, there's a total of 32 cars including myself, and I'm driving the Bentley Continental GT3 2016 car, which is also the Bentley that's there directly in front of us. However, that Bentley is using one of the liveries from the Ferrari World Championship series, and I'm using one of the liveries that the Bentley Motorsport team used in the 2016 Bathurst 12 hours. And then the second class in this race is the GT4 cars, which are there behind us. I probably could have run with the touring cars as well, but using two classes instead of three gives you more cars in each of the classes that you do end up using in the race, so it makes things a little bit more competitive with the field padded out a little bit more. And the AI strength is set to 106, and then their aggression settings is set to 80, and just like the Daytona video, we are replicating the date and time settings as well. So the race date is set to the 3rd of February, with the race starting in the early hours of the morning with 15 times time acceleration. So we'll be driving through sunrise through the day and then into late afternoon, early evening, and the weather is set to medium cloud. And in terms of the car setup, use the loose default setup as the base, one click extra rear wing, one click lower on the power ramp differential, one click lower on the spring rates, and then just closed up the radiator opening and brake ducts. So here we go with the green. Flora out of the final turn. As the lights go green, and that'll give us a nice gap to the GT4 cars in front. Sorry, the GT4 cars behind. And with the GT3 cars in front, we'll take things relatively easy and steady as we go 3 wide through turn 1. Yeah, we'll just take things relatively easy and relatively steady for the first couple of laps, just get settled into a nice rhythm. We'll pick up the odd position here and there where we can, but I'm not really going to try and heavily force or try and fight my way through the field. Oh, as the rear end was getting very, very lively there, coming out through Griffin's Bend. And we're into P14. That was quite cheeky. I managed to get a slight advantage over my teammate in the other Bentley, and then yeah, managed to get my nose in and alongside the Audi coming into the cutting. Coming over the top of the mountain though, where all the cars are pretty close together. There's a lot of dirty air, and also the tyre temperatures aren't quite fully there either. So the car is very, very lively. Oh, we've got a car in the wall already. That's the freebie, so now up into P13. But that is exactly what I'm wanting to try and avoid. Just keep the car out of the wall. So we'll just take it easy for the first couple of laps here. Just get settled into a rhythm, and then really start pressing on and focus on working our way up through the field. I do have the damage turned off, as is mechanical failures, although I probably could have had that on, as I got the radiator opening set to an amount where the engine wouldn't pop got it set to a pretty safe value. But yeah, I got the damage turned off. Although it's less sim-like, it does make for a bit more of a entertaining race, because it means that even if I do have a slight tap, slight scrape with the wall, it's not going to be race ending. I will be able to carry on and hopefully stick with the pack rather than having to pit and end up being in no man's land. I was a little bit wide there coming out the exit of Hell's Corner, but the AMG has managed to gain a position on this McLaren in front of us, who we're getting a little bit of a run on coming up the mountain straight. Stick our nose in up alongside. Try not to run too deep though. Coming into turn 2 there. Instead we'll just hold our ground for now. You can see the sky is definitely getting lighter as we're getting closer to sunrise. Soon that sun will be rearing its head over the top of the horizon and the track will start heating up. Oh my god, that was very close to the wall. Proper squeaky bum time moment there. This Audi's getting very lively behind. I just got a full-on bail out of that corner. The car was not stable, so it's better to just cut across the chicane there rather than really fight and struggle to slow it down and potentially end up losing control. I have lost touch with the guys in front, but at the same time have managed to also hold my position as well. The race penalties are on. It's just probably slowed down enough to negate any advantage gained when going through that chicane. So now we've got a bit of work to try and catch the guys up in front. One thing I will do is move the brake bias forwards a little bit more and make the car a little bit more stable under braking. I did have it rearwards a little bit to try and maintain a decent even spread in terms of brake temperature. But as the sun does start to rise, the rear end of the car does become a little bit more lively. As the temperatures start to come into their optimum windows, you can see on that Motec display down on the dash behind the steering wheel, tyre temperatures on the left, the brake temperatures on the right. And I want those tyre temperatures between 80 and 105 degrees to be in their decent performance window. At the moment a couple of them are slightly below that, but as the sun starts to come up, track temperature will increase, especially once the sun is above the horizon and is shining light onto it. That will heat up the track more, which will help heat up the tyres. So the car is very much set up for running in the day conditions rather than these slightly cooler conditions in this very early stage of the race. You see the pinks and purples starting to form on the horizon in the sky. As the sun is getting closer, start to see more oranges and yellows start to come in as well as we progress through the lap. More so into the next lap as well. Got a reasonable gap to the cars behind, so I'm not having to worry about them too much. Don't have to worry about checking my mirrors. Instead, just focus on the cars in front. That was a good run off of Hell's Corner. There's a nice dip on the inside, just shy of the inside curb. If you can get your inside wheels hooked into that, it does help to pull the car and hook it up through the corner quite nicely. Just need to be careful that you're not getting too heavy-footed on the exit and losing the traction at the rear end. There's that sun starting to come up above the horizon now. A beautiful sunrise. It's come down over skyline and down through the S's, dancing on the pedals as we thread and weave our way between the concrete walls. Such a fantastic challenge for both the car and the driver. Need to be absolutely on it, properly concentrating through that section. Just feed the car through, just constantly compressing and decompressing through the bumps and over the crests and small rises. There's actually a couple of places as well coming down through the other side of the mountain, down through the dipper and then down through Forest Elba, where the front tyres do actually lift off the ground and lose contact with the track surface. And in those areas obviously you need to be patient, because if you're carrying too much speed you'll be picking up a whole load of understeer and being handed straight to the outside wall to be making friends, which you do not want to be doing. So 2:07 on the previous lap, solid lap time. You can see closing the gap up to the guys in front as well, which is good. Tyre temperature's starting to come in a little bit more as the track is heating up. That was a slight glance at the wall with the McLaren in front of us, who are now right up onto the back bumper of. Ooh. I felt a slight tap from behind that. We survived though. Not sure about the other car. There's not really any opportunity to overtake coming over and down through this mountain section, so yeah, it's just a case of being patient. And it's going to be really, really difficult later on when we come across the GT4 cars as well, as we will encounter those later on in the race. We won't be needing to make a pit stop, as we've got the fuel load that will last the entire distance. You see 81 litres down on the bottom right there, and yeah, using the hard tyres. Obviously don't need to pit for those, to replace those anyway. Did think about having a look down the inside of the McLaren going into Hell's Corner, turn 1, but thought better of it, and I thought focus on getting a good run through and getting the run coming up Mountain Straight here into turn 2, but yeah, you saw the car step out on me, which cost me the run there, but I got a good run coming here. Not going to be able to do anything with it though, coming into the cutting. Seems like we've got a Ginetta here as well, which is a bit of a cork in the bottle. There's been a couple of cars that has managed to get past it and have pulled away pretty quickly. It's not the quickest of cars in a straight line, but coming across over this mountain section here, It is a very rapid car. It's very good through the corners. Oh! McLaren almost going. Just about managed to hold on to that one somehow. My car moving around a little bit as well. Let's move the brake bias forwards one more. One more click. And we got a good run here on this McLaren. He's got a pretty good run on the Ginetta, but this could be dodgy. Oh, side by side with the McLaren. Ah, just about managed to gain that position. I think there was a little bit of fender rubbing going through the chase there. I heard a slight brush with the side of my car. And obviously catching the curb on the inside at 280 miles an hour. Unsettled the car a little bit. Somehow managed to hold on to that just before the braking zone. And avoided going into the back of the Ginetta. But that is us up into P12. Let's see what we can do about this Ginetta here in front of us, and you can see the gap with the cars disappearing off ahead. But with the difference in power around this circuit and the long straights, I'm hoping I'll be able to use those to my advantage, providing I can stay close to the back of the Ginetta over this mountain section here. Obviously, Bathurst being quite high up in the mountains, it's well above sea level, so the air's thinner up here. And naturally aspirated cars don't really like that all that much. Turbo cars aren't bothered by it. This McLaren is getting very, very close to the rear of my car. Ah, it's a slight nudge there. That's real cheeky of him. Again, thought it'd just be better to go straight on rather than trying to get the car slowed down and risk it going into the wall. But that McLaren dancing all over the rear end of my car and giving me that slight tap, yeah, just unsettled the car a little bit just as I was going onto the brakes. Yeah, there you can see the power difference between the Ginetta and myself. As I was saying, the naturally aspirated cars do lose horsepower at this higher altitude, whereas the turbo cars don't. And that is simulated here in Project Cars 2. Obviously in the real world they bot for each event individually, so they take that into account and adjust the boost of the turbo cars, so the naturally aspirated cars aren't at quite such a big deficit. Front end understeering a little bit. Going into Hell's Corner, you can see the power of the Ginetta in terms of its cornering ability. And you can see the power of the Bentley romping up behind it, but I'm not going to be close enough into turn 2. So instead, it's going to be a case of following the Ginetta across the top of the mountain. Hopefully this time we won't get interfered quite so heavily by the car behind, and we'll be in with a decent chance coming down Conrad Straight to make the pass there and use the Bentley's straight line speed advantage. That's good. That was a decent run that time. Coming off the other side. Go to the left of the Ginetta, and there you can see the difference between the two. Obviously I would have picked up a little bit of slipstream as well initially. Would have helped, but That is another position gained, and we're now up into P11. You can see the AI has pulled a fair amount of dirt and dust onto the circuit, coming out of the penultimate turn and down into the final turn here. Didn't actually mean to demonstrate the grip loss quite that well, but yeah, it will affect the grip going into that final turn. As you saw, there's quite a bit of understeer. Alright, let's see if we can pull away from this Ginetta. Let's see what we can do about these cars in front of us. You see him up there, good 4 seconds up the road. That's a good run through turn 2. Good run up through the cutting. Getting nice and close to the walls coming up through this top section here. Late apex. Very close to the wall on the outside. Up through McPhillamys Park, 5th gear. Obviously with all this downforce and this clearer air, so much more grip than I had earlier on in the race, which is why I've now got a second up on my delta. Almost caught the inside wall there, coming into the forest elbow. Just about managing to avoid that though. You can see the amount of time that we've pulled over the guys behind, but also closed up on the cars in front as well. Obviously they're all in one long train, so they're kind of getting affected by the cars in front of them. Having to brake a little bit earlier to avoid going into the back of the car in front, and you get that concertina effect. There you have it, 2067, and we are right up onto the back of this Mercedes in front of us. So it seems like there may be another cork in the bottle somewhere further up the field. We'll see as we come over the crest of this mountain straight. There's a little bit of a gap between that green car. Oh dear. That was not smooth, that was not intelligent. Did not want that. But that is why I've got damage off. So if I do make slight mistakes like that one, not quite slowing down enough, I'll be okay and can carry on without having to worry and pit for damage. I was very fortunate to not get spun around there. I just carried a little bit too much speed into turn 2. Picked up a whole load of understeer, and then once I realised that I was understeering wide, there wasn't a huge amount I could do. If I got onto the brakes, I probably would have gone into the wall heavier. Obviously couldn't accelerate, so it was literally just a case of holding the steering angle that I had and just hoping and waiting that I wouldn't make it into the wall, and that if I did go into the wall, like I did, that it was only going to be a light bit of contact. So got away with that one. But that has dropped me off the back of the cars in front, 2.5 second gap, so that work that I did on the previous lap, undone. So I need to focus again, get my head down and try and close that gap back up, especially as that McLaren, who was getting quite aggressive behind me, has managed to get past the Ginetta as well. So I want to try and keep my distance from him and not present him with any opportunity of trying to make it past, because I imagine as soon as he gets a slight sniff of an opportunity, he'll be taking it with both hands. Lovely burble from the Bentley V8. Get hooked into the corner this time. He says, as the rear end of the car goes and steps out and collect the wall once again. Not good. Whoa, whoa! That was scary. Renault over on the right hand side of the circuit there. Spun off. That is 10th position that I've now got though. So that was a freebie, but still that was extremely close to being an absolute catastrophic and monumental crash. Fortunately I did manage to avoid that one. Only just though. Very much a brown trouser moment. That has though given me a ton of space to the cars behind, so I can well and truly focus on the pack in front of me. Tyre temperatures are in a good place now as well. Much better than they were earlier on in the lap. Earlier on in the lap? Earlier on in the race. Oh, someone skirted the wall there. I think it might have been the Mercedes who's having a look down the inside of the that Porsche 911 that's in front of him. That was very close to the wall. I could hear the suspension working as I was riding the curb, and again very close to the wall. We're into that final half hour of the race now. I'm starting to wonder when we'll come across the GT4 cars. It's got to be relatively soon, I would have thought. Picking up the slipstream, not able to do anything about it because obviously that Mercedes in front of us has got the slipstream off the cars in front, and I was just bouncing off the rev limiter, so there's no more speed that I could gain. The car's really backing up onto the entry of the corner there. I had to kind of take a little bit of avoiding action to avoid hitting the rear of the Mercedes that is in front of us. Traction control kicking in slightly as I was bouncing over that inside curb. If you are wondering, I'm using a traction control slip of 16% with traction control on low. Got on the inside of the Mercedes here. Oh, a little bit door rubbing as we've got a GT4 car here in front of us as well. I'll skirt around him. That is also 9th position. And there was a little bit of contact between myself and that Mercedes. But I was there on the inside line. I was trying my best to give him room on the exit and not slide out too wide. Nope. Don't want the car stepping out on me there. So yeah, we're now into the stage of lapping GT4 cars. Should be interesting. See how the AI handles that. So it's pretty difficult to overtake and pass going up over the mountain. We've got this run on the Porsche here. As we come towards the chase, I have to take a little bit of grass on the inside. He's there alongside me somewhere. Not entirely sure where though. There he is. Oh, I don't want to come across on him. Bit of a squeeze into the final turn, and that's the position. Up into P8. Here's the next GT4 car. KTM Crossbow, straight around the outside of him. Seems like that Porsche got held up a little bit, which is good. It's giving me a bit of breathing room. But we've got more GT4s up in front of us, so we could end up losing that advantage that we have, especially if the guys here are going this slow through turn 2. I can't see. Yep, advantage gone. This is the difficulty with Bathurst, especially with the mixed multi-class racing and having to work and deal with the traffic. Somehow try and slice your way through and find that opening without compromising either driver. So I could do so there before Skyline. As we come down through the S's, there's just no room for overtaking. So just going to be nice and patient, and instead focus on getting a decent run out the exit here. Let's just get that car straightened up. Hold on the accelerator. Got a bit of a run on this Ferrari. We passed him. We've got a run on this Mercedes as well. May end up being past him. As we come in. Butt cheeks well and truly clenched. My god, that was scary. Having to take to the grass down the inside of the Porsche came in at 286 kilometers an hour. Avoid making contact. I'm now up into P6 though. BMW's going defensive. Didn't quite get the run that I wanted off the corner though. I'm now starting to pick up a bit of slipstream. Got a little bit more grunt than the BMW, and we got that slipstream as well. It's allowing us to eke up alongside, but no, not going to be close enough. So we're just slotting behind for now. Rear end wiggling around a little bit, coming through the cutting. Just about managing to keep it in check. Got a bit of a gap to the car behind, and we've got another GT4 car in front as well. Oh, that Aston Martin on the other Aston Martin, not really able to look through and get past through, down through here. And now they tried that on one of the touring cars last year in the 2018 race. He found himself making friends with the wall and ended up out of the race. Oh, what's that GT4 doing? Don't move across, stay over there on the right hand side. Thank you. BMW and Aston Martin having a go at each other in front. Whoop, that's a curb. That's going to hurt our traction a little bit. So I have to look to the inside. He got a slightly better drive coming off the corner. Just trying to give him room there. That Mercedes is coming back at us now as well. He's going to join back into the fray, so I've got to be wary of him. It's coming up to more lap traffic. Or should I say multi-class traffic. A couple of G55 GT4s. Around the outside of one, just about. That BMW is going to squeeze me. Coming down through that. Oh, what's he doing? He's wiggling all over the place. There we go, and we're past. We have lost sight of that Aston Martin though, that was there just in front of us in 4th position. He has disappeared up the road. There he was, I think. I just caught, yep. Quick glimpse of him. They're dealing with more lap traffic, as you can see. Got a nice gap to the cars behind. So we're coming into the last 20 minutes now. Currently in P6, let's see if we can try and pick up a couple more positions before the end of the race as well. Oh, that's slow. That Gennaro was really slow on the exit there. Completely compromised my run coming off the corner, but also compromised the BMW in front. Has actually allowed us to gain a few car lengths on it as well, which is good. So if I can get and stay nice and close, coming through and up over the top of the mountain, should be in prime position to see if we can take 5th place down, come on straight in there into the chase. Just need a good run across this top of the mountain section here. We've got more GT4 cars in front of us. Nah, those other 2 GT3 cars have just managed to get past this one, as the BMW goes and clatters the wall coming down through the dipper. Yeah, those 2 GT3s managed to get through, going over the top of the skyline and down into the S's, which is allowing him to break free. Now got a bit of a run on this BMW. Let's see if we can get his inside coming into the braking zone. Going for it. Oh no, he's managed to hold it around the outside. I was trying to give him a bit of racing room out there. Evidently was a little bit too passive and gave him too much. He's getting such good drive off of that turn 1. That's two cars in the wall. Whoa. That's one too many gears. I think that was two positions, two freebies. Seem to be up into P4. I could just about see all the dirt, all the gravel dust being kicked up through the windows of the BMW in front. So I knew something was going on, which is why I started to back off a little bit from the rear of the BMW. And yeah, that Aston Martin, I think there was a Porsche stuck in the wall or something. We've got two GT4s side by side here though. My God, talk about getting close to the rear of this BMW. Go for the inside for turn 1 as well, or not. There we go. I got that slight run on the BMW. That's P3. I think, maybe. He's coming back at me though. It's really difficult to go up the inside coming into the cutting. He did give me a bit of room, but I didn't really fancy taking my chances. That's why I backed out of that one. I seem to be quicker than him going into McPhillamy's Park there. Car getting lively. Need a good run coming off of here. Half decent, but he had slightly better run than I did coming off the corner initially. Gonna have to slipstream here though. Come into the chase to see if we can get that inside line once again. Under braking. Not quite. Getting so close. Just not quite able to pinch it off him. Got a bit of a gap to the guys behind as well. And judging by the relative board, we're a good 10 to 12 seconds off the leading pair. So I don't think I'm going to be able to catch them before the end of the race. I think instead our fight is going to be here for P3. That is, unless there is more lap traffic that we have to deal with. And we could end up getting lucky if the leaders catch the lap traffic up the top of the mountain here. It could aid us and allow us to close up the gap. It's so much quicker than the BMW coming into McPhillamy Park there, like I said on the previous lap. The front end just seems to be that little bit more planted than his. And we're not close. We're not close. Close enough this time. We're further back than we were the last lap. There's the two leading pair. Just seen them go up through the chase. BMW has really good straight line speed. It is a turbo powered car, so it's not down on horsepower or anything like that. I think even though the BMW is quite a big car, it's quite wide, it's slightly sleeker and got a lower height profile than the Bentley does. Bentley is an absolute beast. Surprised a lot of people when it hit the track. Its debut race in Silverstone performed very well considering its size, and especially in comparison to the other GT3 cars that it was racing against. It's much sleeker in terms of their profile and their aerodynamic design. Turned in too early, that. Quite a bit of understeer. Let's see if we can stay close. We're much closer this time. And there's that good run coming off the corner. Let's get the slipstream. Position ourselves alongside. Now it's a drag race between the two. The BMW is going to have the legs over us in terms of ultimate straight line speed. And he's backed out of it. That is third position. Finally gained. Just under 10 minutes. Let's see if we can catch these guys in front. We've got two GT3 cars between us and them. Providing I can get through them quicker than two leaders did, we'll have ourselves a net gain. It's all about getting the run on this GT4 car at the right time and it being cooperative and moving out of the way just when I need it to. Like now, if it could stay there to the right, that would be good. We are past it. Haven't lost too much time, which is good. Oh, slight skirt with the wall. It's fine. We'll brush that off. We'll pretend that didn't happen. Dance on the pedals. Down into the dipper. Out the other side. Let's go. Stretch the legs. I can see the two first and second not there too far in front. It looks like that BMW's got held up massively behind that GT4 car, which is great for us. A whole load of space now. You can see the amount of dirt and dust that's over here now. It seems like the lead pair are battling away a little bit as well. This could allow us to close up. 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Let's see if we can do this. Good run through Hell's Corner. Got the good run coming off of it as well. So it's just a case of nailing the upshifts 2 GT3 cars are past that GT4. Oh, one too many gears. I wanted third. Let's hope this GT4 doesn't hinder me too much. Make fun of me. Oh, again, clipping that wall. Ah, this isn't good. This is not good. This is the worst place to get stuck behind a GT4. Let's get opportunistic. And we're past him. Yeah, if I didn't clip that wall going up through Salmon Park, I probably would have been able to clear him before we got to Skyline. I probably wouldn't have lost quite as much time. P1 and P2 are going side by side through the chase. This is good. This is allowing me to close up to them. Much closer than we were on the previous lap. Taking a chunk out of the curb through Murray's corner, that final turn. Another decent run through turn 1. Inside wheel was spinning up a little bit on the curb. Heard the traction control kicking in. Can't see a GT4 car in front of us. See the sun starting to come down a little bit as well. The shadows are starting to get longer through this section of the track. Come on. 4.5 minutes. Much better run. No way are they going side by side through there. Wow. That Z4 managed to pass the Porsche. Oh god. The Porsche with the dirty tyres is a little bit slower through. The S's in the dipper. Right, I'm here. The fight is on. We've got 2 naturally aspirated cars in front of us, so we've got the turbo straight line speed advantage. However, the Porsche does have the slipstream of it is a Z4. Oh, they've made contact! They're both still going. And the Porsche has rather cheekily got the position on the Z4. Let's see if we can follow him through into the final turn. Nope, he's going defensive. Oh, caught the rear of him. I'll let him go back through because that was a little bit cheeky of me. Kind of starting to rotate him a little bit. Bumping into the rear of his car. Which means we have lost touch with P1 slightly. But that Z4 should have the pace over the top of the mountain, over that Porsche. The Porsche is obviously a very good handling car, but the Z4 is really aero efficient and is really good through the corners. So I'm hoping that it will close up a little bit and I can close up on them both as well. Ooh. Oh, slight scale at the wall. Just running through the dirty air of the cars in front is just taking away all that grip. Once again, that Z4 is all over the back of that Porsche. Coming up over the top of the mountain here. almost lost the car again. Just about managed to hold it together under the ABS. We're going to have a run. Run on the Z4. Picking up the slipstream of the Porsche. That's P2. Can we get P1? A minute 20 seconds to go. We've got a GT4 car up there in front as well. Come on. Oh, he's slow. Why are you slow? Final lap. Clock's going to run to 0 on this lap, which means that this is going to be the final lap. We've got that GT4 car in front. Will it be an issue? Oh, that Porsche moved over just at the right time to block me from going down the inside of him and kind of boxing me in a little bit. Just about managing to squeeze past the GT4. No, we are right back up on the rear exhaust of this 911 in front of us. I just got to hold it together over the top of the mountain. Be smooth, don't take too much risks. And we should be in with a chance. Coming down Conrad Straight. P3's dropped off the back of us, which is good. No, that's deep. Nah. I think I may have dropped a little bit too far back. Hopefully the slipstream can save us though. Here we go. Get in the slingshot. Come on. May have to dive bomb him a little bit in the braking. Go for it. No! Final turn, come on. There's going to have to be a final turn dive. Yes! Oh! Oh my god! I don't usually like to swear in my videos, but fuck yes, that was a good race. Oh, holy shit. This is Bathurst. That was Bathurst. Man, that was one hell of a race. Oh god, that was good. I really hope you guys enjoyed that, because that was absolutely phenomenal for me. Obviously, if you did enjoy the video, feel free to like it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to pop them down in the comment section below, and smash that subscriber button, please. If there's anything worth subscribing for, it's for that video right there. But yeah, thank you very much. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next video. In the meantime, have fun, stay safe, and take care.